Konnichiwa! Welcome to this week's Retro Gamer Boy show. Now I love retro gaming, and if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you do as well. And there are a few things that I absolutely miss in my retro gaming life. One of them is going to a physical retro gaming store and just browsing through their gaming collection. Most of these bricks and mortar shops are closing down fast and all the ones around me have gone. Another is buying a newly released title. Now lucky enough, there seems to be an upturn in the popularity of building brand new games for our old consoles. I actually picked up Xenocrisis last year, which is a fantastic game for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. And the third, and one of the biggest things that I really miss about retro gaming, is new console day. And so today I really wanted to share some of that magic by doing a full unboxing of the original Sega Tower of Power. Game on! Before we get into this, if you're new to the channel, then why not consider subscribing by clicking on a subscribe button around here. And remember to hit that little bell in the corner so that you never miss a retro gaming upload. It's so awesome to have all these consoles here boxed. It really feels like Christmas Day, and I can't wait to get into them. Even though I've had to pack them up to unpack them again, it still feels freaking great. Right, let's get into this. This is the full Tower of Power, the Sega Mega Drive Mark 1, Mega CD Mark 1 and the 32X. And every single one is boxed. Now my Mega Drive over here, this is the original Mega Drive I got when I was a kid. I saved up for this and bought it. I actually got it maybe a year after it came out. The Mega CD, however, I bought on day one. And again, I saved up birthday money, Christmas money, pocket money to buy this. And this was the future for me. It was my first CD-based anything. It was awesome. And remember, this is a time when most people had cassette tapes. And then my 32X. This is actually my fourth 32X. They keep on breaking on me, and over time I've sold them in an attempt to get another, but they keep on going up in price. But I was super fortunate to find a 32X for about 180, I think it was. But in this condition, with pretty much everything in there, and the box in an absolute fantastic state. So now we're going to unbox this entire Sega Tower of Power and put it together. I'm so excited! First up, the Sega Mega Drive Mark 1. Right, so first off we have the Sega Mega Drive Mark 1. And this is my original case, so you can see it's not in the best condition. We got scuffing along the bottom here, and on the corners it's not too great, and just around here it's a little bit bent. But you know, considering when you go on eBay and you check out that some people are selling the Mega Drive or the Genesis Mark 1 boxed for a ton of money, and the box is absolutely destroyed, I'm pretty happy that my younger self still managed to keep the box somewhat intact. So you can see I've been in and out of this box a few times. So there's the box again. And the Mega Drive 1, and this is the, I think, Mark 1, version 1 of the Mega Drive that was released. It doesn't have any screenshots like other consoles. It just kind of has a breakdown of the key features for the console. So you can tell that this is a Mark 1 because the later versions of the Mega Drive Mark 1 had cardboard boxing around it, and I think there was a version that had plastic, like a plastic egg container casing around it, but this is a Mark 1. So we'll just open it up here and we can look inside. Now I've pretty much got, I think I've got all the packaging for everything in here. I've got the manual. I haven't got the guarantee. That's the thing I'm missing. The warranty is not in here. I think I sent that off when I first got it. And the other thing that's missing from here as well is the original cable ties. So the original cable ties over time have perished, and I think that's pretty much with most of my old consoles. But what I have done is I've replaced them with Velcro ties here, so they'll last forever, which is pretty cool. So to start off, we have the power brick. There's the power brick. This thing was an absolute beast. In the UK, this is a pain because you'd expect it to plug into the wall like this, but what it actually does is you can see this big prong here, the third one actually goes at the top. So it plugs in the top like this, so it's facing upwards like this. And this is a really annoying thing, especially if you've got a 6-way, a strip pack, and a wall next to it, which I have, because you can't actually fit it in against the wall. They're also really wide, so if you've got one of these round multi-plug adapters, putting them together is really difficult because they kind of just push each other apart, which is a real pain. But anyway, there's the adapter. Let me go in here. We have the original joypad. You can see C was a popular button for me when I was younger. It's really faded there. That's the original joypad. Then we have the RF cable here. And then the beast itself. Such an awesome console. It just looks so great. And I know the Genesis one is different. I think you get Genesis around here. Unfortunately, they couldn't call it the Mega Drive in the States because of an IP ownership on the name already, so it had to be changed to the Genesis. But yeah, I keep my Mega Drive in pretty good nick. It's got scuffs and scratches on it over time, but I clean it off of dust. Open it up now and then, just clean it out. If we open the expansion port there's the cover you need to take off to put it into the Mega CD, but we'll do that later. But yeah, fantastic console. And listen to this plastic. Classic. And then the last thing in here is the RF box. And you can switch between your TV or your computer, your video game system. Still got the plastic on the back there as well. I've not really used it. I actually don't use the RF at all, so I use an OSSC now. So everything goes through RGB, and even if you've got a CRTV, if you're in a PAL territory country, most TVs have the SCART connection, unlike our North American cousins, so we can have that superior RGB connection on pretty much any of the CRT TVs that we get, which is awesome. Next, let's get into this bad boy, the Mega CD, probably my most favorite console. So the Mega CD, probably my most favorite console of all time. And it's definitely not my best console in terms of games or functionality or stability, but form factor with that original Mega Drive on top just looks so amazing. It's just so 1990s. It's absolutely brilliant. Now this box I'm really happy with. The quality of it I've managed to maintain since I first bought it is pretty good. You know, we got some kind of damage here, some wear and tear on the box that's happened over time. Nowhere near as much as the Mega Drive, but considering how thick the card is, and if I just open it up here, this is really thin. This is super thin card that you've got over the Mega Drive here. Like most consoles, this would be like an outer shell, that kind of thin cardboard that goes around the main box, so really thin. And the box here is brilliant. It shows you off the Mega Drive and the Mega CD1, Mark 1's there with the CD out, with the power stick over here, playing music and CDs. It's just so awesome that. And then at the bottom here, we've got the system specs. You can see the console down the bottom here, and then screenshots on the back of the box, which was brilliant. Just kind of walking, I can remember walking home with this and just gazing at these screenshots and just thinking, oh my god, I can't wait to get into this console. And then we have the same on the side here, the Mega CD and pictures of it as well. Awesome box, awesome box. And one of the best things that I think Sega did was it got boxed with games as well. And we had the Sega Arcade Collection here, which is fantastic. Some of the best games out that came out on the Mega Drive. And then we had Cobra Command and Soulfeast. Now they're not good, But you got to remember, when I first got home and stuck a CD in, this is the first time I'd ever held a CD. The first time anyone in my family had held or seen a CD. First time we put that in there and we played Cobra Command and we saw the graphics. It was just mind-blowing. A fantastic console. So to start off, we'll open this, and I'm very careful with this box because it is super delicate. So here we have the Mega CD unboxed. And the first thing you're greeted with are the 2 games that you get in it. And again, amazing on the packaging here. This is the Mark I first release. So again, I don't think the subsequent releases were boxed any differently. If you didn't have the 2 games, then I guess you didn't have this top bit here. Maybe there's just some card on there. But we have Sega Arcade Collection, and again, this is my original purchase that I got back when it first came out. That's brilliant. And then this one was Soul Feast, and I can remember opening it up and seeing Soul Feast on the front here and going, oh, I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be like 3 games, 3 discs included. And of course, Cobra Command was on the reverse side. So we got 7 games in total to play straight out of the box. The cool thing about doing this unboxing was actually boxing it up again and remembering where everything went. It's a real pain when you go back to an old console and try to box it up and you're trying to fit things together, especially when it's not entirely obvious like this console. So to start off with, I think I've got everything to do with Mega CD. So we have the guarantee and we have the instruction manual here. And I don't think I've ever taken this out. This is probably the first time I've taken it out. And we have a bit of card over here just protecting some stuff. And then what we have is pretty simple. We've got the console and the adapter over here. So here's the adapter, again, same as the Mega Drive one. We have a bag of gubbins. Now what's in here is we have our audio connected. This goes from the Mega CD to the Mega Drive. So all the audio was actually processed via the Mega Drive. And then we have a little metal clamp, and I'll show you where that goes later. And then very important, and the thing that people lose a lot, is this little screw here. Then we have the console itself. And this thing is just brilliant. I absolutely love this. These lights flashing. Gives you a little instructional manual on the front there of what those lights mean. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Really weighty, really nice. That there's to hold the audio cable once you put it in. Class 1 laser product. Yes, you are. And that's not it. So underneath here, we've got another piece of card that lifts out. This opens up. And in here, we have a steel plate, which goes between the Mega Drive and the Mega CD. And that is the Mega CD. And now my 32X. So the 32X. And this console I was pretty excited for when it came out, seeing the graphical power. Had I heard of the Saturn? I think I'd heard of the Saturn at the same time. Now the 32X and the Saturn came out at the exact same time in Japan, but here in the UK, I think we got this like maybe 6 or 7 months before the Saturn came out. And then they made that horrific mistake, I think at E3, where they announced that the Sega Saturn was coming out super early, and that massively pissed me off, and like it put me off from buying the Saturn completely. I picked it up in the end maybe like 2 years later, but up until then this was my 32-bit gaming. So in the UK, this is the UK box version, we got £50 off, so pretty much a free game. you could buy, and there was a leaflet inside. I'm missing that. I'm missing a number of things. This is probably my most incomplete box of the Tower of Power, but we'll go through and see what's missing. I'm really happy with the quality of the box. It's pretty much the same quality as the other ones. I'd say in good condition. A little bit damaged over here, some scuffing on the corners and stuff, but you know, it is a cardboard box. I can remember purchasing this one as well. This is, again, got this on day one. I think this was probably my second or third day one console, but this one I read everything on the way home. I love that they show you what it looks like in each configuration on each setup on the Mega Drive 2 and Mega CD 2 on the Mega CD 1, and then it's got screenshots of the game. Really excited about Doom and Star Wars Arcade. These were my two killer titles, and then Virtual Racing Deluxe, that blew me away. I just thought that was so amazing. Again, as we go around, we've got this really nice attention to detail, a lot of fan service here, showing you what it looks like on each one of the consoles. And it is smaller, so it's a lot easier to take out. So what's missing from this box? Firstly, I don't have the voucher, and very few consoles do have the voucher. Of course, it was £50 worth of software. Who's not going to use it? So I'm missing that, I'm missing the warranty, and I'm missing the bags, which really annoys me. I'm missing the bags for this. Again, I'm missing the ties, but I did have the original ties. I replaced those had all perished. Here's the 32X. It's an awesome little console. I mean, it looks like a mushroom, but at the same time, when it first came out, it was like, yeah, this looks pretty neat. This looks powerful. Really surprised that it needed another power adapter. I was not expecting it to need another power adapter. So the thing I'm missing is a spacer. So if you play this on the Mega CD, on the Mega Drive 2, you need a spacer. And for some reason, it didn't come with a spacer. That really annoys me. I mean, I paid a lot of money for it and it was incomplete, but it was a while before I remembered that I was missing that. So if anyone knows where I can pick up a spacer, let me know in the comments below. The other thing I was really happy about this box is the inside is almost pristine. And I've managed to keep it that way by, in this section of the cardboard here, I've just put some more cardboard in just to bolster it. This is the side that usually collapses. If you get a 32X, you'll find that this section of the box is always a bit destroyed. But again, no plastic bags, which frustrates me. But we have the power adapter here. It's a different type of adapter. It won't fit in any of the ports on the Mega Drive 1 or the Mega CD 1. We've got the two shield plates that go inside the Mega Drive. Down the side here, this is a conversion cable. So this is for the Mega Drive 1. And then we've got the connecting cable down here. So if you've got a Mega Drive 2, you just need this cable. It goes from the Mega Drive 2 to the 32X. If you've got a Mega Drive 1, you need this cable over here. And the really cool thing about the connectors on the 32X is that you can actually use a Mega Drive 2 RGB cable out as well, which is awesome. And then inside here, so this unit comes out, we've got the RF connector if you didn't have a SCART lead, but I have that. And that's the 32X. Let's put the Tower of Power together. So now we've unpacked our Tower of Power, it's time to put it together. First things first, I've removed the auxiliary cover here and removed the red plastic cover that went over and protected this board. The next thing we need to do is take this bit of shielding here from the Mega CD pack, put it in right at the end, the last slot, and just push that down like that. Next, you're going to want to get this piece of steel and bolt this on to your Mega CD. And it's pretty easy. You've got two hooks here and you've got like a hole here. This hole goes over the top of this nubbin here and those two hooks slot in, and then you just pull it as far as it will go, and this little round circle should butt up against the end of this kind of little oblong shape here and leave a screw hole exposed. So this is the only time you're going to need a tool, and that's for the screw. And with the screw, don't tighten it fast, just so that it's flush with the steel plate here. Next, we just need to put it onto the Mega CD. And you put it just off, because there's two little hooks, until it's sitting nicely on top. And then you push it in, and it clicks into the Mega CD like that. And then we have a Mark 1 and Mega CD 1 setup. Next, you want to get the AV cables that come with it. And around the back here, we have an AV out. We just stick that in here, turn the Mega Drive and Mega CD round, and we have a little latch around the side here. So you plug in on the front here the audio cable, and then you just put that in the side there and just latch that shut. And then you can tuck the cable around the back here, and that keeps it nice and tidy. If you've got an amp as well, there's audio cables coming out of the Mega CD, so you can put them through the amp if you wanted to. Next, we have the 32X, and we need to put in these two little bits of metal here. And what you want is the bigger hook pieces here. They need to go into the bottom hook underneath the flap of the Mega Drive or the Genesis. And then these two smaller hooks on the front here just lap over the top of the console. So the best way is to push in, tuck under, and then just push that against there, and you can see there's where the two little hooks on top sit. Next, we have the rear plate, and this has four little top hooks here, but still two at the bottom. So same thing, we push it in until we see it go past the door, and then push the plate back, and then we've got both plates in. You can see they hold both the doors open as well. And then next is just a case of slotting in your 32X. So now all three consoles are sitting on top of each other. We just need to cable them up. So if you're using the original Mark 1, you'll need to have the connector cable here. Just attach them, there's two arrows, just attach the two arrows together. You can have this knobble here or down here, it doesn't really matter. Essentially, so you're not, when you're pulling out the cable, putting pressure on the cable wires, you just pull on this, and all the kind of stress goes on that bit there. Then you simply just put this into the back of your Mega Drive, and then you put this input into AV in on this bit here. And then you take your output cable. Now you may have RF, but I have a Mega Drive 2 RGB cable here. So I'll put that in there. And then the other end just needs to go into my OSSC. And then you've got to plug in a power pack for the Mega CD 1, a power pack for the Mega Drive 1, and a power pack for the 32X. Now you can get an adapter, which I'm looking at, which is one plug, which goes into all three consoles. But I've been hearing on the internet that these solutions tend to introduce some noise into the picture. So I'm going to get one and see if that's actually a thing, if that's a problem. And if it's not, that would be the best solution. But as it is, I play it as intended with three massive sodding power packs coming out of the back of this Tower of Power. And that's it. We've unboxed the Mega Drive Mark 1, the Mega CD Mark 1, and the 32X and put them all together. It is without doubt my most favorite console configuration of all times. It's ridiculous, but it's just amazing. I just love the aesthetic of the Sega machines. And don't get me wrong, I love my Super Nintendo. It was an awesome machine. I love my N64. I love my PlayStation. They're all amazing machines. But this for me is just so iconic. It just reeks of the 90s. It's a brilliant machine. It was so awesome to unbox and put that console back together again. I haven't done it many times, and so it just felt like Christmas. I can't tell you how exciting it was just unpacking all that stuff. Now, if you get as excited as I do about retro gaming, then you may want to check out Retro Refresh. Retro Refresh is a consortium of 8 retro gaming and nerd culture channels, and you will find everything that you want from retro gaming or nerd culture by going to www.retrorefresh.online. And if you can't wait until next week to get your fix of retro gaming, then why not check out one of these 2 videos over here.